Is this thing on? I can never get enough volume.
I'm worried no one will hear me in the back.
Oh,
Like
another episode of Hillbilly Broadcast. This is actually a
part two.
Yeah. Of our last one, where we were discussing the price of tea in China. Actually, we were discussing with Miss what it was like being a missionary's kid. Before we get to that, try it again. Did you see the news article out of Florida? I'll read the headline for you. Woman found naked in Florida storm drain is rescued again. I'll say it again. Woman found naked in Florida storm drain is rescued again. I remember when this happened the first time. Okay?
It's the same woman.
She was found naked in a storm drain. Okay?
Okay.
Somebody called the law. It couldn't have been her, because where would she been carrying her cell phone? But anyways,
Right. She was naked. How'd she carry it?
she was carrying her cell phone. Anyhow.
That was a bad question.
Hey.
Because there's a lot of places you can carry it.
I'm in search of the truth. From Fox News. A woman who was missing for 3 weeks and then rescued from a Florida storm drain found herself in another underground tunnel system in Texas.
Oh my gosh.
This woman's a teenage Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, according to media reports, Lindsay Kennedy, 43 years old, climbed out of a 6-foot drain pipe Saturday night and was taken to a hospital, her mother told West Palm Beach, Florida. WPEC, a local TV station. Kennedy had been checked into a Kennedy had been checked into a rehabilitation facility in Texas when she wandered off, she said.
This had to have been one of those rehabilitation centers that you can basically leave whenever you want to. Because I would hate to be that facility who was getting sued because someone ended up dead under their care.
So, what spurred the rehab? Is it because she fell into a storm drain in Florida?
Or was she on drugs?
What's what I'm saying? Is that why? Was she on drugs? That's why
it does not specify, and
at least not
good
that
for
I've
them.
seen yet. She was last seen in the area near the Dallas suburbs of Grand Prairie and Arlington. Authorities said Fox News has reached out to the Grand Prairie Police Department, but has not heard back. This woman, and I believe this article is the two stories are like weeks apart, if I remember correctly. It makes me wonder what the heck's going on with Florida people, because I'll tell you why. When I was looking for articles for the show, Fox News had you just Google odd news, okay? Fox News has a section for it. Right there, woman found naked in Florida storm drain. Okay. Number 2, bodybuilder who wed 2 sex dolls is now open to dating humans. I'm sure he'd be a real catch. So anyways, what I'm saying is,
he'd be really good for someone who doesn't talk very much, because it sounds like he likes people that don't talk back.
Let's be clear, and I'm not here to get nasty. But people that like them freaking sex dolls.
The ones that look shocked all the time?
Oh Lord. Okay. Jeez.
And their mouth is their eyebrows are so far up.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
And their mouth is gaping open the entire time.
I have sinned. So what I'm saying is, on my list right here, I had off Fox. Top one was the woman found naked in Florida storm drain is rescued again. You scroll down, Florida woman nearly naked leads cops on high-speed chase and stolen. Wonder if this was the same woman.
Hey, what was it?
I'm wondering. Go, scroll down. It's the next. No, it's not going to click. That's just a picture.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Figure it out.
That's the picture. Let's pull up this article, because I got to find out what in the heck's going on in Florida. Okay, this is from Fox News. as
No,
well.
not the same one, but
A
okay.
Florida woman wearing almost no clothing was arrested Saturday after leading troopers on a high-speed chase through several counties in a stolen car, authorities said. Troopers were alerted around 10 a.m. Saturday that the stolen 2009 Cadillac sedan, she has good taste in cars, was seen traveling on I-75 in Sumter County, the Florida Highway Patrol said. The stolen car was located on the interstate in Hernando County, where troopers attempted a traffic stop, but the vehicle instead sped away, reaching speeds of 110 miles per hour. I've never went that fast naked. While changing lanes and using the roadway shoulder to pass other cars. Troopers pulled up next to the vehicle in an attempt to persuade the driver to exit the interstate, but they only got mooned. According to an arrest report, eventually the driver exited the interstate onto State Road 52, and it goes on and on. The gist of the story, we have a half-naked tweaker.
A half-naked streaker.
She was both. Have you ever heard about the whole Florida man thing?
No.
So if you Google, they say that people in Florida are so crazy. You Google Florida man and like your birth date. Florida man, October 28th. And there'll be some crazy news story about some dude in Florida from that day. Well, I understand.
We should try that.
Florida, y'all crazy.
Yeah, there's a reason why people leave Florida.
We love you, but you all crazy down there, man. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time
Stay away from us.
The COVID cases are dropping in West Virginia.
Oh, that's good.
They said we're dropping down to, I think, levels not seen since last October. And
that's very good. I'm very happy for that. Because for a while there, we were really worried about a spike because we're going into the summer. And hopefully that's just like not even gonna happen, and because we did get a little bit higher and then it just keeps on dropping. So.
Well, things appear to be going, at least people has confidence that we're doing all right, because we talked about, I think on the episode before last, that a lot of the festivals were coming back, and so on and so forth. We're getting ready to, this will have already happened by the time we air this, but the Blue and Gray Week reunion's getting ready to happen in Philippi, close to where we live here in West Virginia, and they had Strawberry Fest. They had Memorial Day. They had several celebrations for that. So things are coming back around.
Now the Blue and Gray.
That's what I say. It's just getting ready to happen this weekend.
Cool. Yeah. Actually, it started today, the 3rd. The 3rd through the 6th.
I drove past there. I almost stopped, but I thought, I better get home and twiddle my thumbs.
You need to take me to Funnel Cake Saturday.
I could do with some funnel cake.
Sounds really good. I was going to say one thing about the COVID. It was interesting how, I guess, is it Justice? He was saying that he'll give people guns and money if they get the COVID shot. I was
guns, money, and West Virginia hunting license. That is the most West Virginia bribe I've ever heard of in my life. That
is okay, because remember how they were doing all these commercials and they were saying making it sound outdoorsy, and instead of it being like some nerdy sounding person, they would have some Sam Elliott or whatever his name was.
Coolers.
Only you, so only you can save yourself from COVID.
Really doing this?
It really sounded like a manly it was a pitch for all the men to go get their COVID shots, because as women, we're trying to be healthy.
This annoys me. They actually did this?
They actually had men saying doing the outdoorsy theme thing.
Listen, and I'm fine with whatever you want to do.
Trying to appeal to the men. For you, example, you're not interested in it. So,
I'm not really saying that, right? Listen, you know why you don't buy a new car the first year they make that new model? You wait to see if they're going to get the kinks worked out. That's all I'm saying. I'm just checking. We're going to make sure the kinks are out. Then it's another story. Anyways.
I'm over here working on a baby, so I don't want to get a shot yet.
I beg your pardon. How am I supposed to pull us back from that?
You don't. It's true.
Okay. So last time we were talking about you were in New Guinea.
Right.
And, we talked a little bit about, it was So it was dangerous. It was it rained all the time. It was just like you would think of a mission field being.
Yeah.
So what was your lifestyle? I mean, do we have missionaries over there that are like Joel Osteen?
Oh, I'm sure there's missionaries over there like Joel Osteen.
So you guys made it rich, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we actually did. We came back millionaires.
Did you really?
Yeah, and
By
I'm lying
George.
so bad. No, we
I missed my calling.
we came back broker than a joke. My parents, like, because the inflation, like a dollar was worth $10 over there, or $9, whatever. And so we did have a little bit more money to the average person, but whenever you're using every single bit of your money to support an entire mission station, like that would
How much money
your
are we talking?
mechanic. Oh, I don't know. I would say maybe about 20,000
$20,000 for what?
a year.
Oh, I was thinking per week. I thought it was.
Yeah. My parents were doing real
So
good.
$20,000 a year.
I would say.
And what did this have to cover?
This had to cover everything. We did get some love offerings though for like vehicles and certain like projects that we had
By
to
the
do.
way, Love Offering will be playing at the Mercury Lounge on Saturday. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You keep doing this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we would.
We're talking about what your $20,000 a year had to cover.
It would cover everything from mechanic repairs to buying food for a bunch of people, working on the Bible school.
How many people?
Oh, we would have a lot of people we'd be taking care of.
Are we talking 10, 20, 30?
Okay. So we did have, I think we had about 5,000 people one time, but it was okay.
5,000 people?
Yes. So we would have like church camps over there where we'd be telling people about Jesus, and we would have money to like be putting down to buy food to feed everybody.
So you're having a church service and 5,000 people just walked through and said, I need a sandwich?
A lot of people would donate food and try to
Listen,
help out.
do you realize Jesus himself had to perform a miracle to feed 5,000?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nope.
5,000 people.
Yeah, that was like at a Mary's Boom or a church camp.
A what?
A Mary's Boom.
What's a Mary's Boom?
Okay, so Mary's Boom is like boom means you
Mary's what?
boom. It means you get together.
I'm sorry, do we need to
So
censor
Mary means woman, and boom means to get together. So Mary's Boom means a women's get together.
Wow. Mary's Boom will be opening for...
You're gonna kill this so bad.
Okay. So when they had something like this, it was on you guys to provide the food?
We would help out. We really would. We'd have all our money, and we would have to
So it
support.
might happen. You had a rock concert worth of people.
We had a lot of
You
people.
had Woodstock,
Yeah.
and you're making $20,000 a year, and you got to provide eats for all these
You have to think
hungry
that
little fellows.
this was back during the early 1990s.
1990s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So money was worth a little bit more then, because gas. I remember gas was $1.80 something in California.
Early 19. We're talking like what? 95.
Yeah, 95, 96.
All right. There's been a difference, but $20,000 still.
No, I get that. That's true.
I mean, we're still not talking DT money here. Wow.
Yep.
So, you guys you lived in an area that was, you had to worry about these man-eating dudes.
Malaria,
Frickin' malaria.
bit with mosquitoes. I never got malaria over there, but we did get it in Africa, which is another story for another
Frickin'
time.
Africa, huh?
Yep.
So, did you like it though, overall?
Yes. Loved it.
You enjoyed it?
If I could take my entire family and go back there, I honestly think my entire family would say, let's go, in a heartbeat.
I'll have to consult with the rest of the entire family. So you enjoyed it. It was
I
a
did.
simple life,
Loved
I'm
it.
sure.
Loved it.
Simple life, and a lot of times
It was a good time.
that's worth a lot. And from what I understand, something happened that you guys had to leave there, correct? And you don't have to go into that detail, that story, but something came up where you...
Well, we had to go back to the States for a furlough because we were there for 4 years, and we had to go back to the States and reacquaint ourselves with how a first world country is, because we were in a third world for so long, and we had no idea.
So the group you were with didn't want the influence wearing off on you? The reason you had to go back was they didn't want the influence? We'll answer that after the break.
Okay.
We'll be right back on Hillbilly Broadcast. And we're back from break here on the Hillbilly Broadcast. When we went to break, we were just talking about you all, something come up, we don't have to get into that, but you all left New Guinea. And went to where?
We went back to the States. This was in 2001.
And you mentioned that the group you were with, they didn't want the culture rubbing off on you?
No, we had to reassociate ourselves with what it was like to be in America, because we were so used to.
So this wasn't this wasn't the group's fault. It was just you guys.
No,
you're just coming back just because.
No, because
okay, I get it.
While we would have been very happy living there, we did have family.
Well, sure, because you guys ripped up roots and were gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
So you were back here, and next thing you know, you're back someplace else.
We went back to Papua New Guinea.
Okay, back to New Guinea then.
Yep.
Then you left there and went?
From Papua New Guinea, we went to Ghana, Africa.
Ghana, Africa.
Yep.
And worse or better than New Guinea?
Worse.
How much worse?
As in I almost died.
From what?
I had jaundice, hepatitis A, malaria, chickenpox, a parasite. I was very sick. My parents thought they had to fly me to Johannesburg or London or whatever just to keep me alive.
You know, I ate a really bad bologna sandwich once. It really upset my stomach. I don't know if it's anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly like that. Were you talking?
I'm sure it was.
Were you hallucinating about ice cream and cucumbers?
No, not then. But one time this guy was in a van and he gave me a little pill and I hallucinated about some stuff then.
Oh my.
It was these little tabs. He said, put this on your tongue.
Yeah,
anyways.
He said you'll take a trip and you'll never leave the farm.
How long were you in Africa?
We were there for 2.5 years, I think it was.
Okay. And you said it was much worse, like not enjoyable?
So there we actually had more of a compound.
So David Koresh was there?
No.
Dang it.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There was a actual beautiful big house. It almost looked like it was maybe used for the Catholics or something at one time, because it had these beautiful doors that were engraved with the crucifixion, and they had forgive them for them, they don't know what they do, engraved on the doors. It was absolutely gorgeous. There was actually a little service area there for a church area, and we used it quite frequently for church. And then we had a kitchen on one side with a office on the other side, and then all rooms. It had so many rooms. And then we had a gatehouse where anybody could come in if they had to, and they could stay the night. And yeah, we had a very nice
little compound.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Very cool. Was it overall out of the two areas you guys were at? Did your dad and mom see success? I mean,
yes.
People come to know Christ and so on and so forth.
Yes, my parents, they have the biggest heart for missions and reaching out to lost souls and actually being a good example of what it's like to be a Christian.
That's good.
I know they may feel like when it comes time, all said and done, that they have not really done a lot for God, but they really have.
They left a marker.
They have. A lot of people, over in Papua New Guinea, and even other places, they'll be like, hey, we're interested in having Jeff Rigsby and his wife to come down and be missionaries with us. And it's very flattering, and we really appreciate it. I know, but with my dad being sick with a heart transplant and everything.
Your dad just had a heart transplant, 2 years ago?
October will be 2 years.
That's a freaking story in its own. We'll have to get him on to talk about this.
Yes.
That's almost creepy.
Just, if we, Yeah, if you just look at the pictures, man, like my dad, do you see how pink my dad was? He looked so good this last time he was here.
He looked good. I wouldn't describe him as pink. Gee whiz.
His face, like the complexion was pink.
Pink?
Yeah, Dad was so pale
Flesh
and
colored,
nasty.
but pink? Gee whiz. I know this is Pride Month, but come on. I'm pulling your chain, of course. So, they felt like that was their calling at that time in their life, and then you kids started coming of age, and they're like, well, let's get back. Let's.
Yeah. So, I will say that the church is not very. How do I say this? I don't want to say that they are racist, but they do like separation of people. I do know.
The church you were a part of?
Yeah, like if we didn't really have a lot of black people or people of color or different races in our church. Okay. If we did have, like there was the Spanish church. They had their Spanish camp. They had their own services. It was never grouped together.
I see.
And I don't...
That's all.
We did not like that. Like my parents, I actually jived in there with my parents. We went to Spanish camp. We went to Spanish services. We love the Spanish food. Like, you know, I'm always pushing Mexican food on you because it's what I've known. And I've always identified with people of color because that's all I've really ever known. Like I was, from the time I was in Rock Island, Illinois, I was going to Arsenal Courts and going to the projects and bringing in, you know, it didn't matter if you were black or you were Asian or you were brown or whatever you were. My mom had this wonderful children's group, and she would bring anybody and everybody to our home, or she would tell them about Jesus. We'd give them food to the best we could just to tell everybody about Jesus and how much he loves them and he died for them. And so my parents have always had a heart for the minorities. Yeah. And that's how
I identify with people of color as well. That time I stole that dude's identity. Sorry. We need a car crash sound effect. Anyways, moving on.
And kerplunk. That was a dud.
So you're saying the church, they wanted to... They
like separation. They really do like separation.
Trying to tread on this ground easily, gee whiz.
Yeah. I hate to say it like that, but it is true. Like, you do not really see a lot of people of different races coming to church. I don't know exactly why. There's nothing that says that they hated people of color, but it was just like they did not associate. And that's something I've never understood, because my parents, like, even when we were living out in Papua New Guinea or Africa, like, we've always treated everybody as if they were just as good as us, if not better, because when we're in their territory, they have the upper hand. Like, they're going to be the smarter one. They're going to be the one with the better connections. So yeah, we might have a little bit of money, but what's money if you don't know how to, you know, your environment? So
yeah, well, that's an interesting point, and like I say, especially in this day and age, you got to tread so easy on those subjects. I mean, it's almost not even worth getting into, but that's an interesting thought. So you came back and you know, lived your what were you, 14 when you came back?
I was 16, almost 17.
16, almost 17. So then you spent late teens back here.
Yep.
Met and married a dashing young gentleman.
Yep, when I was 20.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and that's the happy ending to that story, folks.
He's a baby-faced looking boy.
It was back then.
Yeah. Now he looks like a caveman.
I'd shave off the beard to lose the weight. If I could turn around.
I like you the way you are.
I don't know if I would.
I don't.
Dang it.
No.
I like it too much. Well, that's cool. So, good way to grow up overall?
Yes, absolutely.
You like it?
I really feel like it really opened my eyes to, like, just how lucky I have been, because a lot of kids, I was around the world 4 times before I was 16. That says something. Like, a lot of kids aren't able to do that. You have to be a rich family in order to do that. But we didn't have that. So Seneca went to go lay down in her
Dog
bed.
getting in the bed. Yeah, so you got to have a little bit of an adventure
Yes.
before most people would.
Absolutely.
And most people will never have that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just talking about kids. We're talking about nobody. That's expensive.
That's just sad, though.
But since you guys were so rich with that Joel Osteen money, like
Oh,
you talked about last
absolutely. Yeah, $20,000 a year. My goodness.
time. Well, good. I like the story.
Yeah.
We're about out of time. Closing thoughts, closing statement. This dog getting in and out of this dang bed. Hey, how about you clowns take a hike? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Closing statements.
I would really like to hear some of the things my dad had to say too. I think it would be awesome to have him on.
It
talk
would
to
be.
him and my mom.
Well, we
It'd be very
do know.
interesting.
We do know that they're getting ready to possibly move this direction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're. Like
and they were on episode 2,
Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
and we had a blast that night.
Yeah.
Last night with our round table of 7 people. 7 people in one microphone.
They loved it. It was such a good experience, and that my parents know what it's like with West Virginia, like, because they're so used to Pennsylvania life, and now they're gonna have to be associated with West Virginia. They're gonna learn the
Virginia.
redneck ways.
West Virginia is a cat of different breed, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, you good to go?
Yeah.
You want to tell the people bye?
Bye.
Bye-bye. Listen, we'll be back. New episodes every Monday. You can catch us on Google Podcasts, Spotify. Just search for us wherever you listen to your podcast.
Anchor.
We should pop up. Yes, Anchor Podcast. A lot of times we upload this also to Facebook, just for the people that would rather watch it on there. Other than that, that's all I got to say. I love you, and we'll see you next time on Hillbilly Broadcast.
Peace.
Peace.